courtrooms reopened as the Boulder mass shooting trial begins.
We waited so long for this to happen.
Tonight, the arguments against the accused gunman and the question jurors will have to decide as victims' families, the Boulder community, and beyond watch closely.
The judicial system is in place. I don't think I'm ever going to get closure.
First, opening statements beginning today in this long-delayed trial of the Colorado man who killed 10 people at a Boulder grocery store. I'm glad you're with us tonight. I'm Shannon Ogden.
And I'm Jessica Porter. It's been more than 3 years since the mass shooting at the King Soopers on Table Mesa Drive. These are the names and faces of the 10 lives lost in the shooting on March 22nd, 2021. Since then, the issue of the suspected gunman's competency and mental state has remained in limbo. We've decided not to name the suspect out of respect for victims and their families.
So the question for the jurors is not whether he did it, but of his mental state and if it should absolve him of legal responsibility.
Denver 7's Colette Bordelon joining us live outside the courthouse tonight with the latest on opening arguments and the trial finally moving forward.
Guys, the defense isn't denying what the defendant did. Instead, they're asking the jury to consider his mental state at the time of the shooting. But prosecutors are saying he was sane on that day in 2021 and that he deliberately hunted people within that grocery store where the first 8 victims were killed in just over a minute.
We've never done this before, stepping into the unknown yet again.
It's been over 3 years.
It's about 1,260 days.
But there's no way Erica Mahoney and Olivia McKenzie could have prepared for this day.
Wanting to be a voice for our parents, but also wanting to protect ourselves is a really hard, balance.
Their parents, Kevin Mahoney.
I see my dad's photo and I still feel like he's alive. I still feel like I could go call him after this.
And Lynn Murray.
When they hear that they ran, you almost think like there's a chance they could get away still.
Are 2 of the 10 people killed in the 2021 Boulder King Soopers mass shooting.
He went there to kill as many people as he possibly could on that day.
The 2 were part of the crowd in a courtroom sitting through opening statements in the shooter's trial on Thursday.
The victims are completely random, but the murders were absolutely planned, deliberate, and intentional.
The district attorney is trying to convince the jury that the suspect had the intention to kill and knew right from wrong, hoping he can prove the gunman was sane at the time of the shooting. He claims the defendant began planning the mass shooting at least 2 months before carrying it out.
He was hearing voices that were just yelling, screaming in his mind.
Defense attorneys say insanity is the only explanation to this tragedy and that their client's untreated severe schizophrenia led to the shooting.
Your reality is not the reality of the world. It's the reality of the illness in your mind.
They claim it's possible to understand something is illegal and still be insane, but ultimately the question of sanity and the suspect will rest with the jury. Defense attorneys today played a clip in the courtroom of a sanity evaluation of the suspect from earlier this year. In it, he says he believes the voices inside of his head led him to commit this mass shooting.
So Colette, let's go back to the issue of the motive, which is unclear, at least publicly.
So what is the defense arguing here?
Yeah, if you were to ask defense attorneys, they believe schizophrenia is the answer to that question. Why did this happen? They say the suspect started experiencing symptoms when he was only a teenager. Those are things like hallucinations or paranoia. They also say they went untreated. The district attorney says this trial is expected to last a little more than 2 weeks. I'll be here every day. Live in Boulder, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
Colette Bordelon for us tonight.
All right, thank you, Colette. And so we want to take a deeper dive into the mental competency argument that we're going to hear in this trial.
We're joined now by Brad Shostrom, the Director of Behavioral Health at Advent Health Porter. Brad, thank you for joining us tonight. Welcome.
So as we've heard, Brad, the defense said on the day of the shooting, the gunman had a psychotic episode, and this is the defense word saying he was insane. Are those 2 things one and the same?
They are not. Psychosis is a diagnosis, and it's part of schizophrenia or other mental illnesses such as bipolar disorder. Not guilty by reason of insanity is a legal determination. So one could have psychosis and be found to have not guilty by reason of insanity.
And Brad, I mean, this is an unimaginable crime. 10 people killed in this mass shooting. Is there anyone that could do something like this without being considered mentally unstable?
Yes. Most people who commit murder are not psychiatrically ill. There's crimes of passion. There's people who commit crimes or murder under the influence of drugs or alcohol. It's a minority of people who actually suffer from a serious mental illness and commit a murder.
So, and this is going to be a tough one. I was reading the testimony today, and it just rips you apart. And I'm removed from this. The detail, the excruciating detail that the families of the victims are going to have to sit through in the trial, there's got to be an impact on those people.
It's profoundly re-traumatizing. Its courtrooms are tense, they're heavy, and to sit through that and listen to what happened to their loved ones is excruciating. And recovery is difficult. Some never fully recover from a traumatic situation such as this.
It's going to be a long 2.5 weeks. Brad Sjostrom for us tonight. We appreciate the conversation.
And we're going to be relying on Brad's expertise throughout the trial. So thank you now and in advance. And we'll see you throughout. Brad, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
And we'll have continuing coverage on air and online from court every day. You can follow our updates on Denver7.com/news/Boulder King Soopers shooting.